Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev continue their Leviathan mysteries. Checkmate fights back against Mark Shaw and his organization, who manage to capture Talia al Ghul and Damian Wayne, while Lois Lane tries to determine who King, the mysterious leader of Checkmate, really is. Brian Michael Bendis revisits the story he begun back in his tenure on Action Comics, but it might be a bit too late. Now, it's not his fault that this book, among others, was a casualty of the COVID shutdown, which pushed a lot of books, including this one, further and further out from where they were actually meant to release and meant to take place in the DC universe, which means we have things like Damian's Robin still being active within the pages of this book. It's not really a big deal with much of the book since it's set in different time periods and you can just wave it away as art set before his Robin book that's currently going on, but no doubt someone will complain about it, as is tradition with Bendis's work. If there is one thing that Brian excels at, it's the street level crime stuff, and here most of the issue is just that, with Lois Lane doing her job as an investigative journalist and asking questions that I think many readers want. The biggest one being is who exactly is this new character King that we were introduced to back during Event Leviathan, and what is his deal? I'm intrigued to see where Lois goes with this, especially since it ends with her being given a choice to join Leviathan or go against it. And my gut says that she probably will join it, since that's something Lois would totally do to get the story. And I very much would like to see that, and I think that's where Brian is taking the story, so I'm intrigued. Alex Maleev returns as artist, and much like his Daredevil and Moon Knight stuff, he definitely is suited for stories like this. His artwork has always been a favourite of mine thanks to its rather gritty style that really fits the crime story really well, and here is no different, with everything looking really fantastic, and I'm enjoying Leviathan Mark Shaw's design, invoking a rather regal, almost very kingly feel to the robes Mark wears, which makes sense since he kind of views himself as sort of the savior of the world and kind of like the king of the world, if you will. Checkmate issue 1 was another casualty of the COVID shutdown that does its best to try and tell its story despite it being past where the book is meant to actually take place, but apart from that, I enjoyed the further investigation into Leviathan and the mysteries surrounding the organization and the spies and detectives drawn into this story. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. Checkmate issue 1 goes back 2 years ago to the hidden fortress of the League of Assassins, where Mark Shaw has killed his way to Talia al Ghul, assuming that he was expected. Talia says he was, welcoming him to the League of Assassins. Mark is confused since he was told that she was interested in having a conversation with him and that she was looking for something to bolster her situation on the world stage. Talia knows that the Manhunter is looking for work but not trying to sound like he is, telling him that the assassin business is always good to her. Mark, however, knows that she wants more, thinking what she has there is just the beginning, and she has the tools and the talents to do something really historic, something he hopes that she sees, but Talia stays silent. Weeks ago, Damian Wayne infiltrates a warehouse where a ship belonging to Leviathan is being housed. He hears footsteps coming as he welcomes his mother into the room, who wants to know why he's there with the Leviathan craft. Damian wants to know why she let Leviathan do this to her organization, and she knows that she's there for the same reason he is. Damian knows that's a lie, asking what she will do about Mark Shaw, but Talia says that if Damian doesn't want her answers, why does he keep asking her? She says that she is part of something whose sole objective is to shut Leviathan down as quick as possible, something Damian isn't happy with, since his mother is meant to be the master of the League of Assassins, not part of something. Soon some of Leviathan's men teleport in, talking about Checkmate being after them. One reminds them to stay off comms during the mission as they begin to pull apart the ship. One of the men says that if they aren't worried, then why have they not secured the perimeter before coming inside to check on the ship, since Checkmate could have someone guarding their captured tech. One of the other men knows that Mark's plan is working and the world systems are failing and they are the new world. As the men talk about being the ones who actually programmed the ship, Talia and Damian silently climb aboard, with the men getting ready to take the ship back to base with them, not wanting to waste it by blowing it up. The men activate their teleport tech, jumping themselves and the ship back to their lair. In the present day metropolis, Steve Trevor enters an old church as he joins the rest of the team at Checkmate HQ. The team want to know where Talia al Ghul is, and Green Arrow knows that she went to go and check on the downed Leviathan craft for clues, but she's gone MIA. But in the meantime, he has his own companies and concerns thanks to being part of the Justice League and having no idea what to get Black Canary for their anniversary. Oliver gets the feeling that he's being asked to spend his existence rescuing Talia now, and Mr. Bones and The Question agree with Oliver's sentiments, knowing that they were half out the door when Checkmate had the idea of bringing her aboard, and Bones is more than fine with whatever is going on between her and Leviathan, wanting to let it play out and just clean up the hopefully bloody mess after. King hopes that the rest of the team were successful in their fact-finding missions, wondering if they know where Leviathan's next move is. Lois says that her investigation led her to believe that they need to abandon this base immediately, especially if Talia has been captured and is under Mark's control. King doesn't think that's going to happen, but Bones agrees with Lois, wanting to leave the base at once. King knows that Talia doesn't have his location and Mark cannot possibly find them, and they are invisible, even to Superman. Lois tells him Leviathan's tech is evolving, so how does he know that for sure? But King knows Mark and Leviathan know nothing about him or what he can do, and while they can't see into what Leviathan is doing now, Mark can't find them either. Lois outright asks King who he is and what can he do and how is he different from the rest of them. King is excited to get the Lois Lane intrepid reporter experience, knowing that they agreed to trust one another. Steve vouches for King as Lois asks how old the man is and where his accent comes from. King is surprised that she can hear his accent as Lois knows the man isn't human, and that's no insult towards him. King doesn't believe he has to tell them this, but he is indeed totally human, as Kate says that what Lois is getting at is that it's time for them to come clean. Lois knows it's not personal and she's just seen too much. Weeks ago at Leviathan HQ, Mark captures Talia and Damien, excited to have them there. Damien says he's under arrest as Mark asks what other surprises Talia has for him, but the woman stays silent. Mark wonders who it was that threw her to him, thinking that it was Colonel Steve Trevor, but again, Talia remains quiet. Mark wishes her schmuck of a father could see her now as he calls her his team, knowing that the mother and son were caught stowed away on one of their transports and they were broadcasting a live signal to Checkmate HQ, wondering if they have tracked the signal. Agent Nakamura says that the signal is being bounced around the place, so it won't be easy to find, so Mark asks if Batman is behind this, but the others don't think it is since the tracker they had isn't bat-shaped, so it's not his. Mark isn't so sure, wondering what Checkmate's salary and bonuses are like. Damien again says that Mark is under arrest, so the man wonders if he's speaking for his mother. Talia says that she's going to burn Mark to death as the villain taunts Robin, wondering if his mother told him about their last meeting. Talia tells her son that it was nothing and Mark just stole Damien's birthright, but Mark says that he can't steal a throne, and if he could, it means that it wasn't hers to begin with. Suddenly, Mark thinks about the Batcave as in the present, at the Daily Planet, Lois Lane wonders who's in charge now. So she goes through a list of the people in Checkmate and how the agencies that many of them represented are now gone, wondering why they are all now answering to King. Soon she is met by Ali from production, who has come to say how sorry she was about hearing about Sam Lane's death, wanting to ask her a question. The woman says that Sam was an American hero and he died protecting them, so why hasn't Lois done a story on him as she drops off a present on her desk? Lois says that she's working on it and Ali was hoping to hear from her perspective on it, but it never showed up. Lois says that she's not ready just yet as the woman heads to the window, fixing the blinds and opening it, while saying that it's weird working with someone famous like her, and now she knows they've been working with Superman all this time as well. Lois thinks if she's okay, and the woman says that she doesn't get why she feels so good about it. Lois finds all the different reactions to the news of her husband being Superman fascinating, as Ali tells her that it's nice knowing that she isn't the only one in the building keeping secrets she's not ashamed of. After a moment, Lois asks what's in the present, as Ali thinks that there are more people with secrets than Lois and Clark are aware of, and the world needs to change since it almost killed her, so they are going to change it. Lois knows that she's working for Leviathan, asking if she has a message from Mark as she begins recording on her phone. Ali says that Lois is invited by Mark himself, since he feels bad for what happened with Sam, and Lois needs to see what they have made, and that her father's sacrifice was worth it. She knows once Lois sees what they are building, she will see that it's exactly exactly what her and Clark are fighting for. Lois asks if she is the Snowman's ticket, the code word her father left behind, but the woman has no idea what that means. Lois asks her how long she's been Leviathan while working at the Daily Planet, but Allie says she doesn't work there anymore, only wanting to deliver the present. She teleports away as Lois opens the present, finding a Leviathan device inside as she goes to the window and into the crosshairs of an assassin who has been watching her from all the way across town, all the